First, fast, accurate. With Jennifer Copeland and Rick Schutt. You're watching WSBT 22 News at 6.
We are following two big breaking news stories tonight. The first, police raiding buildings right now in Brussels following deadly terror attacks. ISIS has now claimed responsibility for the twin bombings at the Brussels airport and another attack at a subway station.
But first, breaking news here at home. Charges just filed in the murder of a South Bend veteran. Jabri Davis Martin, now accused of killing Indiana National Guardman Jody Henderson back in January. WSBT 22's Patrick Roth is outside of St. Joseph County Metro Homicide. And Patrick, police now believe they know the motive.
Yeah, they say it's because Martin didn't like the fact that Henderson said he was in love with him. According to these charging documents, Jody Henderson confessed that at a party that he was at along with Martin and Martin's mother. And when Martin's mother found out, she became, quote, very agitated and even warned Henderson to, quote, not mess with her son like that, unquote. Police say that when Martin found out about Henderson's feelings, he beat him with a bar stool and left him on the street to go to another party. When Martin came back, Henderson was still lying on the ground, and Martin then stomped on him some more before being pulled off. Prosecutor Ken Cotter says that under Indiana law, you can't charge someone with a hate crime, which is something that Henderson's family had pushed for. But officials hope that today's charges can help the family just a little bit.
So many times you hear the term, closure. There is no closure. It's not like the minute this person's arrested and they're convicted and they're sent off to prison, you're going to forget about what happened to your loved one. There is a bit of a satisfaction knowing that the person that did this is in custody.
Now, I spoke to Henderson's mom earlier today, and as you'd imagine, this is a very emotional day. Not only have charges been filed, but it's one day after what would have been Henderson's 28th birthday. When I talked to her, she told me she had a dream where she spoke to Jody and said, "We will get justice for you, and it will be around your birthday." We'll show you more about what she had to say coming up tonight at 11. Live in South Bend, Patrick Roth, WSBT 22 News.
All right, Patrick, thank you. Murder charges also filed today against these men in a Goshen double homicide. 19-year-old Luis Rivas and 22-year-old Diego Ramos expected in court Thursday. Police say it appears the killings were motivated by gang violence. They found Marco Carmona Gonzalez and Jose Nava Orozco dead earlier this month at a home on Brookside Manor. They both died of multiple gunshot wounds.
It is breaking news. Belgium's interior minister says authorities knew some kind of extremist act was being prepared in Europe, but they are now surprised by the scale of today's attacks. ISIS claiming responsibility in the attacks that have killed at least 36 people.
That's right. Investigators searching right now for a suspect they believe is on the run. A wanted notice issued for this man in white. You see him right there wearing a hat. And you can see him in airport security pictures. That's what we're looking at here. Police believe the other two men blew themselves up at the Brussels airport. About an hour later, a third deadly explosion rocked a busy subway station.
Belgian police say there is still the strong possibility of another terror attack. These attacks coming just days after the arrest of a key suspect in November's Paris terror attacks. Right now, it's unclear if the attacks were moved up in the wake of that arrest. Also, it's not clear if the two attacks are related.
The terrorist bombings in Brussels have led to a very heightened alert around the world, really, including here at home.
Yeah, law enforcement reminded today that attacks can happen anywhere at any time, and preparation is key. WSBT 22's Zach Crenshaw is live outside the South Bend Police Department. Zach, you got a first-hand look at one of the best bomb prevention methods.
Yeah, that's right, Rick. It's the department's K9 unit. 2 of their 10 dogs are trained in explosives detection, but they hope they don't have to detect anything anytime soon. Pandemonium in Brussels after multiple terrorist bombings today that killed dozens. Here at home, SBPD Sergeant Brian Miller.
So I do patrol work, but I also have a bomb detection dog.
And his partner Barry work to make sure no bombs detonate here.
Fortunately, we've never had a live hit. Through training, obviously, he finds everything I put out.
This afternoon, Sergeant Miller ran Barry through drills. The goal? To sniff out chemicals and scents used in explosives.
This is obviously black powder. Hundreds of chemical combinations that he understands, or that he's been what we call imprinted on.
Miller says chemicals and bombs are increasingly more complex.
Some are so volatile that we can't even handle them. It takes either an FBI chemist or ATF chemist to make and manufacture and to transport these scents.
K9 Barry is usually called on a couple times each month.
Doing bomb sweeps at special events, where there'll be sporting events, visiting VIPs, also on demand.
Even with training, police know not every crime can be prevented.
There are things that we do to deter those types of acts, but never could we prevent it.
But Barry and the entire department continue training, with the hope they never experience what happened today on the other side of the world.
With the culture of the world, we are trying to up our training, up our equipment.
Sergeant Miller actually told me the military has experimented with and funded bomb detection projects in the past involving robots and other technology. When they tested those robots overseas on IEDs, they found they were 30% less effective than their canine counterparts. And also this morning, it's unclear how it happened, but Brussels police were able to locate and disarm a third bomb they found in the airport. Reporting live in South Bend, Zach Crenshaw, WSBT 22 News.
All right, Zach, thanks a lot. Make sure to stay tuned right here to WSBT 22 News. We're continuing to follow every single development with the terror in Brussels. You can find all the updates on our WSBT 22 mobile app. The CBS Evening News will also have up-to-the-minute details in about 25 minutes.
Good Tuesday evening. I'm Matt Rudkin in the First Alert Weather Center. Pretty nice day today. A little bit more in the way of clouds. You can see them moving in as we go through the evening hours. A live-looking Elkhart looking to the west shows, again, you can see some of the clouds moving in. But the sunshine we saw surely helped our temperatures, low to mid-60s across the area. Keep in mind, now that we're in mid, even late March, the sun's higher in the sky, so it's stronger. Number one, if you're like me, you're going to burn real fast. And number two, it warms things up a lot quicker. The sun is a lot stronger, so that's why we're seeing temperatures in the mid-60s. Another component is the southwest wind. A little bit breezy out there, but when you get winds from the south, it brings in the warmer temperatures from the plains and the deep south. So that's why temperatures are mild now. We'll fall into the mid-50s when you join us again at 11, where we've got rain in the forecast, roller coaster temperatures. We're going to go from February temperatures to May-like temperatures lots of times this 7-day forecast. We'll talk about that and let you know what to expect for Easter weekend coming up.
All right, Matt, thank you. A family in St. Joseph, Michigan is picking up the pieces right now after a fire destroyed their home, taking the life of the homeowner. WSBT 22's Danielle Kennedy is here, and Danielle, neighbors say they just could not stop that man from running back in to try to save his pets.
Jennifer, neighbors tell me 41-year-old Anthony Larada was a family man who loved his dogs. They say he ran out of the smoky garage, then went back in to save his pets. Police say the fire happened around 6 o'clock yesterday along Wedgwood Drive in St. Joe. Police say the smoke was too thick for their units to get through, but firefighters later found Larada and his dogs inside. Larada's wife and daughter weren't home at the time, but neighbors on the scene who tried to help say it just didn't feel real.
If I had gotten there a little bit before, and I would have grabbed him by the arm, yanked him down, you know, on the deck, tackled him. He seemed dazed and confused.
And not only as a neighbor, I think he'll be missed by lots of people. He was a good friend and a good guy.
Police and fire officials are still investigating the cause of this fire. They believe it started somewhere in the garage and spread to the rest of the house.
Danielle, thank you. We can do better. That's what Indiana Governor Mike Pence said just hours ago after signing a law to get rid of the I-Step. Pence signed the bill at an elementary school near Indianapolis. This means the I-Step will be eliminated by July of next year. A 23-member panel of educators and experts will study and make recommendations on a new test.
And new at 6 o'clock tonight, have you been seeing a lot of green around town lately? The Logan Center is in the middle of its annual month-long campaign to raise awareness for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. The Great Logan Nose-On Luncheon is the signature event here. Ultra-marathon runner Heath White was the keynote speaker. White's daughter has Down syndrome. He has pushed her in a wheelchair in 12 marathons, as well as a 31-mile ultra-marathon.
Well, did you hear the sirens today? Why state officials are sounding off the tornado sirens, that's ahead.
A calm day today. Big changes are on the way we need to talk about, though. Matt's tracking when you're going to see some rain and how long it will last next.
Now, your accurate first alert weather forecast with meteorologist Matt Rudkin.
Well, it certainly looks like spring on our regional temperature map with temperatures near 80 here in the plains. Up north, we're in the 50s and 60s here at home. But notice the blue, that's the 30s. This area, northern lower Michigan, central northern Wisconsin, is going to see a big snowstorm beginning in about 24 hours. We'll talk about that coming up because I know a lot of you drive up that way for work, or maybe you've got an extended weekend for Easter. You're heading up that way for friends and family. It's going to be rough in the next couple of days. Here at home, beautiful, middle 60s, southwest wind again, 20 to 25 miles an hour. These are wind gusts. In an hour of recording the winds at area airports, these are the top wind speeds, around 30 to 35 miles an hour. That's under wind advisory criteria, but that's enough to knock off the hat. That's probably enough if you're a truck driver, a bus driver. That'll really make you hold on to the wheel as you're going down the highway. Again, temperatures this evening fall into the mid-50s when you join us at 11. Here's satellite and radar imagery. There's the clouds. The darker colors here would indicate thin clouds. The brighter colors are the taller clouds, so they would be the thicker ones. A wider view shows you not a whole lot, going on just yet. A little bit of precipitation here in the upper Midwest, upper plains. What's going to happen is that's going to move northward and it's going to pick up some Gulf moisture. When it does, it's going to interact with that cold air. I just showed you this area right here is going to see quite the snowstorm within the next 24 to 48 hours. There's the boundary. Oops, I clicked too fast. I'm going to go back and show you that boundary here. There it is. So south of it is where it's real warm, it's muggy, that's where all the moisture's at. North of it is where you get the cold air, but there's still moisture. This area right here is where you see the real heavy snow. Where we're at, right with this, this boundary over us, seasonable temperatures, a decent amount of rain. South of it, though, if you're heading down to Indy, Evansville midweek, really mild. Here's our futurecast model. There's that south flow. Shows the rain overnight tonight. This is light rain by 7 a.m. Continues through a good chunk of Wednesday. Look at the snow. See it there, the blue, the darker blues? That's 1 inch snow per hour. So a big mess up north. But again, here at home, not too bad. Just rain showers that last through late week. Again, here's the winter alerts. The pink here is the winter storm warning. If you're heading up towards, here's Grand Rapids. So yeah, a little bit of snow up that way. But if you go up towards Mount Pleasant, for example, and points northward, going to be a big mess. And again, same deal with central Wisconsin. So just a heads up if you're traveling mid and late week up northward. 48 tonight, mostly cloudy with some rain. Temperatures tomorrow near 60. Mostly cloudy with rain showers throughout the day. Another good chance of rain on Thursday. Both days, by the way, it's going to be windy, kind of like it is today. Cooler on Friday, sunshine, but then notice up and down temperatures as we get towards Easter weekend. So lots of ups and downs there. It doesn't look too bad for Easter weekend. Temperatures mid-40s, maybe 50s. Saturday looks pretty good as well. We've seen a lot of snow in Easters in the past. We've seen a lot of warm weather, nicer weather, but that's kind of in the middle. Not bad.
This is an early Easter as well. So.
It is, so you know it could snow.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Matt. Well, in just over an hour, don't be alarmed if you hear tornado sirens. It's part of Indiana's Severe Weather Preparedness Week. Now, several schools participated in the drills today. Right now is also a good time to make sure your weather radio is working and to download the free WSBT 22 First Alert Weather app.
More than 2 years ago, a Fulton County man was killed inside of a bar. Now his family is seeking justice in a civil lawsuit. I'm Suzanne Spencer at the live desk. We'll tell you why coming up next.
Nearly 2 years ago, 38-year-old Tony Coleman was killed inside a Fulton County bar.
And new at 6, now his family is suing Lighters Ford Tavern, saying it overserved the man who punched him. WSBT 22's Suzanne Spencer has been following this story. And Suzanne, there are 2 cases at stake here.
Criminal charges were filed against Zachary Clark, and just last week he pleaded guilty to aggravated battery and involuntary manslaughter. Then there's the civil case. Coleman's mother and his child are suing Clark in the bar, saying it never should have served him alcohol in the first place. Waiting for an owner, a son, a father who won't return.
We're still expecting to be coming home. It's been 2 years and I get like this every time I talk about it.
It's still fresh for Sherry Coleman, who was standing beside her son Tony as he fell to the floor dead in May of 2014.
I just seen his arm go past my vision and hit my son.
Police say Zachary Clark punched Coleman, who died soon after. Witnesses told police Clark was noticeably drunk, slouched over in the bar. Sherry told police the two men had no interaction before it all happened. Nearly 2 years later, the bar chose not to comment, saying their attorney told them not to. But Coleman's attorney, Vince Campiti, says there's another issue at play here.
The majority of the responsibility does lie with that bar because they continue to serve him, which brought him to the point where he lost absolute control later, and the result was Mr. Coleman's death.
Campiti, on behalf of the family, claims the bar knowingly served Clark. Initial police reports showed Clark had a blood alcohol content of 0.12.
It doesn't matter if he was served 1 drink or 2 drinks. The point is he was visibly and noticeably intoxicated.
A bartender told police Clark came into the bar in a, quote, intoxicated state. She served him alcohol to, quote, appease him. Campiti hopes this case will serve as a reminder to other bar owners, while the Coleman family wants justice.
No, he didn't deserve this.
Remembered for riding his motorcycle. Now that motorcycle sits on top of an urn, holding his ashes. Clark is awaiting sentencing for those criminal charges we told you about. He could face a minimum of 8 years for both counts and a maximum of 28 years. As far as the civil case goes, the family's attorney told me there will be a decision before the end of the year. We also reached out to Clark's attorney and have not heard back. At the live desk, Suzanne Spencer, WSBT 22 News.
Suzanne, thank you. Pete is here now. Great time to be a Notre Dame fan.
Boy, you're saying it. Both the men and the women getting ready to play in the Sweet 16 later this week. And wait till you hear what Coach Mike Bray had to say this afternoon, something that could bode very well for his team when they take the floor this weekend. That's coming up next.
Now, sports with Pete Byrne.
Well, we're the toughest team remaining. We are the most mentally tough team in this tournament. And not only did we show it in Brooklyn, we've showed it in a lot of our big wins. We're the toughest group alive, and I think that can really help us moving forward.
Love to hear that. A little confidence sure can go a long way. Notre Dame executed in the toughest of circumstances on Sunday to get back to the Sweet 16, and now the last-second win is one of their best weapons. The Irish are one of 16 teams in the country still practicing today, and as they prepare to head to Philadelphia, the team is harnessing a sense of unfinished business after last year's Elite Eight appearance, and also a sense that their biggest victories are still ahead.
One of the advantages I hoped this group would pick up on was that they believe it was their time in this tournament, and I think we certainly saw that play out in both games in New York. There's a nucleus of guys here that feel they're supposed to do it in this tournament, and that's nothing you can coach.
We had some unfinished business we had to handle, especially from last year. I mean, I think we're a real confident team, and I think, you know, when we play at our level and our high level and our movement for 40 minutes, I think it's hard for people to stop us.
It feels really good to be able to do it 2 years in a row, but also not being satisfied. Like, you know, we're at the Sweet 16, but we want to keep going. We want to make it all the way to the national championship game, and that's been our goal, and so it's definitely in reach. We just got to really be sharp down the stretch and finish strong.
The Notre Dame men will face Wisconsin on Friday night at 7:25, and the Irish women are also in the Sweet 16. They will play Stanford at 9 o'clock on Friday night in the Lexington Regional. We have crews heading to both Philadelphia and Lexington, Kentucky this week to cover both Irish teams in the Sweet 16. Our live reports begin Thursday at 5 right here on WSBT 22. Meanwhile, on the high school courts, Lakeshore is still alive in the Michigan Boys State Basketball Tournament. The Lancers will play tonight in the Class B state quarterfinals with a chance to go to the Final Four.
Our kids are excited. It's always fun when you get this far in the tournament. I mean, there's only 8 Class B teams left, you know, 32 teams in the state of Michigan playing. We're one of them. We feel pretty lucky.
This senior class was in 8th grade when we went to the finals, so we kind of just watched that, and it's always been in the back of our mind. I fully believe we can make a state championship run. A little school from Southwest Michigan winning the state championship, it'd mean that would be number one.
They're going to have a chance of doing that. The Lancers play tonight. They tip off at 7 o'clock at Vicksburg, and we've got a crew there, so we will have those highlights tonight at 11. Let you know if they're moving on to the Final Four.
Good luck to them, that's for sure.
Yeah, we'll be right back. Very big celebration to end the 2016 WSBT 22 I Love to Read Challenge. We honored teachers, classrooms, and top readers today at the St. Joseph County Library. Corey Wood's 5th grade class at North Point Elementary is the top classroom this year. They read more than 85,000 minutes, and North Point also won top school with more than 1 million minutes read. And Rolling Prairie Elementary won the School of the Year award.
Pretty good
So
to see that.
congratulations to all the
Yeah.
kids, the teachers. They worked very hard this year.
Outstanding job. Way to go.
Yeah. All right, how's it looking out
Hey,
there?
looks pretty good tonight. This evening, no problems there. We'll see partly cloudy skies. Clouds increase, rain showers later tonight. Thursday, that 50 will be morning. We fall into the 30s by the evening. It'll also be windy. Not too bad for Easter weekend, all in all considered.
That's right.
Yeah, might be a good day to stay in and read tomorrow. There
Hey,
you go.
okay.
Perfect.
All right.
You heard it here, right?
And Friday when it's sunny outside,
Yeah,
right?
Outside.
No,
on the
watch
couch.
basketball.
Yeah, there
Stay in
you
and
go.
watch basketball.
Have a good night.